While making Viridian Flashback, I've been unaware in the fact that I've been covering the small catalog of Xbox games developed by Stormfront Studios. Out of the 4 they released, I've covered the Twisted Metal-inspired Bloodwake, The Lord of the Rings The Two Towers, and today's entry, Eragon, based on the poorly received film of the received book of the same name. Now, as we all know, game adaptations of movies are very hit or miss, but who knows, maybe Eragon the game might be better than the movie, right? Who am I kidding? It's probably gonna suck too, but we're here anyway, so let's go ahead and see what Stormfront brought to the table. I'm not going to dwell much into story here, as it's essentially the film's plot, but for a refresher course, here's an incredibly brief synopsis. You play as Eragon, a young boy who finds a blue stone that ends up being a dragon egg that hatches named Saphira. When the evil king Galbatorix discovers this, he sends his soldiers to find the dragon, killing Eragon's uncle in the process. With the help of an old man named Brahm, Eragon and Saphira must go and stop Durza, the king's right hand, from causing any more chaos. Now, I'm sure I may get some comments saying that this is a half-assed synopsis, and you're right. I can't argue with that, as I've never read the book or seen the film, mostly because it didn't really interest me. I can say, however, that what story I got from the game is just mediocre at best. It just felt very generic. A word that was actually used to describe the book and movie in a lot of reviews. But enough about that. On to how it plays. And just like The Two Towers, Eragon is a third-person hack-and-slash adventure where you and a friend, if you have one, go from stage to stage, cutting up enemies and reaching the end. You'll learn a variety of combos to use against your foes, which means you'll mostly just mash the A button until they're dead, as well as a few magic spells such as telekinesis, useful for making platforms and pushing enemies off of cliffs, a shield blast that knocks away enemies from you, magic-infused arrows, and fire. Also, I can't forget the standard rage bar that fills when you've collected enough orbs, allowing you to inflict double the damage. Essentially, this is the Two Towers Eragon edition. However, there are some improvements here. For one, the controls feel more fluid than in Two Towers, allowing for the combat to be more enjoyable, even if you're just mashing the A button. Plus, you can jump and attack, something that was sorely needed before. Checkpoints are also more plentiful and around, meaning no more starting the whole stage over again. And if you don't have a friend to play co-op with, the AI is actually competent to keep up with you and help out. Plus, this game has a dragon! Sort of. In some stages, Eragon can command Saphira to attack enemies and outposts, and for 3 stages of the game, you can play as her, where the gameplay switches to kind of a Panzer Dragoon light. These stages are pretty fun, and are a nice break from the hacking and the slashing. I just wish there were more of them. I mean, you'd think in a game based on a book/film about a dragon and her rider, you'd see more of the dragon. Oh well. Other than that, Eragon plays alright. It just starts to become boring about halfway through, especially at this fortress stage. It went on for so long that I started to just go with the motions and just mashed my way through just so it would end. Sadly, that feeling stuck with me until I got to the next dragon stage, and was excited again. Then another ground stage, and then another dragon stage. But by then, I was at the end of the game. Basically, what I'm saying is, I gotta have more dragons! Visually, Eragon isn't too bad. The character models look somewhat close to their film actors and move quite well, while the stages you visit tend to be a bit mud-colored and grainy for most of them. But this is a dark fantasy epic, so mud color is going to be a bit of a staple here. Cutscenes, though, are just terrible, and I usually don't mention cutscenes because, well, they usually don't match the game's graphics, but eesh, look at this scene. What the hell is this, Kung Pao?
I am a great magician. Your clothes are red!
No!
Your clothes are black.
Audio-wise, the soundtrack is a decent orchestral fare, but doesn't really stand out like most other games of the genre. With voiceovers, most of the film's cast reprise their roles for the game, such as Ed Spielers as Eragon,
Saphira, we need your help. We're trapped on the bridge. King's soldiers are everywhere. Hurry!
Sienna Guillory as Arya,
I'm being held in Durz's fortress at Gilead. Please, save me.
Robert Carlyle as Durza,
The stone, Arya. Hand me the stone, and you will live.
and Garrett Hedlund as Murtaugh.
Murtag.
Whatever.
They actually do a pretty good job here, not sounding like a paycheck was dangling in front of them, as shown in the obligatory behind-the-scenes clips you unlock for collecting hidden dragon eggs. Plus, the sound alikes for the other characters aren't too shabby either. The best way to describe Eragon, again, is the Two Towers 2.0, which isn't a bad thing, but if that game ended up being boring to you after a while, it's gonna happen here as well. Plus, you can beat the game in just a few hours, with the only reason to go back through it being collecting eggs to unlock videos and an endurance level. Replayability is not Eragon's strong suit. In spite of this, I didn't have a horrible time with Eragon, just a meh one. Of course, if there would have been more dragon stages, then it'd be different. In fact, the Xbox 360 version actually has a few more stages with the dragon, so you could go with that option. If you're a fan of the book and, I guess, the movie, then give it a go if you see it for cheap. For the hack and slash fans, though, there's better choices on the big green. Now, one of those great hack and slash games may be the final game that Stormfront did for the original Xbox. Well, final game that I haven't reviewed yet. Demon's Stone, which we'll get to eventually. As for Stormfront, well, Eragon was their last game on the original Xbox. Their final game before they shut their doors was the Spiderwick Chronicles for the Wii, Xbox 360, and PC. Yikes, what a way to go. Well, with another original Xbox game down and many more to go, I'm going to sign off for now. But as always, this is the Dali Popka saying, stay green, my friends. I'll see you next time. Now, one of those great hack and slashes might be the last game that Stormfront did for original Xbox. Well, that I haven't reviewed yet. Demon's Stone, which we definitely need to tackle down the road. As for Stormfront, the game fell off the couch and it was never heard from again. Damn it. Okay.